Good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. We've almost made it to the end of the week, and what a week it's been. It's been cold and it's been a little snowy at times as well. Very, very dusty, light kind of snow that impacted the area last night into parts of this morning, leading to some slick travel. And we've still got a band of snow that's pushing south this morning as of about 10 o'clock. It's pushing through Trumbull County, so they're getting another dusting or so around Warren, heading over towards the Youngstown Warren Airport, and this will continue sinking south, perhaps getting into Youngstown and Austintown and Niles here over the next half an hour or so. Minor accumulations with this, but still enough to kind of slicken things up once again this morning. Otherwise, of course, it is cold. The blue numbers on this map are temperatures. It's in the teens just about everywhere this morning. It's not as cold as it has been, so our gradual improvement continues. Take a look at the satellite this morning. We've actually got some sunshine where it's not snowing this morning. Clouds are pretty prominent in southwestern Ohio, but across northeastern parts of the state, here are the clouds associated with that band right in here. But again, otherwise, we do have some sun, so it's not a bad-looking morning, although it is very, very cold. Speaking of cold, here's a look at estimated temperatures across the U.S. this morning as of the 8 o'clock hour. It was down as cold as 20 to 30 below earlier this morning in parts of upstate New York and also across northern parts of Minnesota. The icebox of the nation, International Falls, Minnesota, was way down there below zero this morning. Not a record, though. They can get very, very cold without breaking records. In that neck of the woods, teens extended all the way down this morning to about the Ohio River, even a little south of the Ohio River. And it's actually pretty chilly all the way down into Florida this morning. It was only in the lower 40s around Tampa at daybreak today. The only truly mild air to be found on this map this morning, extreme southern, southeastern Florida, and also southeastern Texas. It's also not bad in the deserts of Arizona and in California. I want to show you a couple of cool maps here showing the concentration of ice on Lake Erie. Of course, it's gotten very cold this week, and the ice has rapidly increased. Now, this was 2 days ago on the 22nd. Now, the cold wave had already started by that point, but notice ice was pretty much confined to the western end of the lake, where the water is very shallow. Let's fast forward to today. Look what's happened in the last 48 hours. That's how much ice has formed. The lakeshore in Cleveland, the ice is definitely noticeable if you look out over the lake in Cleveland today. And that ice near the shore extends all the way up towards Erie, Pennsylvania, and into southwestern New York. The north shore of Lake Erie has started to ice over, and the ice is getting really thick out here along the western end of Lake Erie. The only open areas now are out in the middle of the lake and also where the water is real deep across the eastern end of Lake Erie. And I suspect with more cold weather over the next few days, this ice field across Lake Erie will continue to grow and grow. The lake really didn't freeze over last year with that kind of non-winter that we had, so this year is quite a bit different. Let's take a look at some computer models. One of the reasons I do this video is to kind of show you what I look at, other meteorologists look at when they formulate a forecast, and kind of gives you a behind-the-scenes look of what we're looking at in order to bring you your forecast at 6 and 11 every evening. And here's a kind of a suite of computer models that I always look at to kind of guide the forecast. These models are not perfect, and part of the job of a meteorologist is to kind of interpret the strengths and weaknesses of each model and make a forecast from there. So you take everything with a grain of salt, but especially in the short term, these models can usually do a pretty good job. And in the short term, we're talking about now 1 o'clock this afternoon, most of our models continue to show a few snow flurries around the Great Lakes, northeast Ohio, northwestern PA, western New York. But notice, as we head towards this evening and into tonight, all of that green goes away. The snow showers shut off as a ridge of high pressure builds overhead. It's going to be a cold night tonight with a mostly clear sky and calm winds. We'll be well down into the single digits in most of the valley tonight. Now, we've been talking about this system on Friday. This is the map showing Friday at 1 p.m. A fairly weak system. We've got 2 areas of low pressure, one in through here, another very weak one down in the deep south, and these really won't join forces until they're over the ocean. So until that point, the systems stay fairly weak, but nonetheless, I think we will see some snow getting going around 11 o'clock or maybe noon tomorrow, and it'll give us a quick inch, maybe 2 inches by tomorrow evening. So travel could be kind of slick across the Mahoning Valley and into western PA for a lot of us heading home from work and school on Friday. Not a blockbuster storm by any stretch of the imagination, but with these cold temperatures, rock salt really doesn't do that great of a job. So anything that falls will have no trouble sticking, and it only takes, of course, a little dusting to cause some slick spots, and we could get a fluffy inch or 2 out of this tomorrow into tomorrow night. Flurries should linger into at least the midday hours on Saturday. Now here's Sunday's map. Notice no green around the area. It should be a fairly sunny start, end of the weekend that is. On Sunday, clouds will increase at the end of the day Sunday. Now, we've been talking about Monday a little bit here, both on the 6 and 11 news and also on this video and on my Twitter account and Facebook. Monday can be a little tricky in the morning, and the reason for that, some moisture is tracking our way from the west, and temperatures across the area are likely to still be below freezing down here at the surface where we live, but upstairs in the atmosphere a little bit, so not too far up, warm air will stream in, and temperatures upstairs a little bit, maybe actually above freezing, and that's a recipe for freezing rain. Rain falls through the atmosphere and then encounters that below 32 layer right at the ground level, and so it freezes on contact, and we are concerned about that for Monday morning. I think Monday afternoon, down here where we live, temperatures will finally get above freezing. It'll just be a chilly but non-freezing kind of a rain, so a damp end of the day Monday, and it will be warm enough for rain, I think, as we fast forward our maps here into Tuesday and into at least the first half of the day on Wednesday, and then it's going to turn colder again at the end of next week. And speaking of temperatures, here's the European computer model's interpretation of temperatures heading all the way out through Groundhog Day on February 2nd. The straight line right here is the freezing mark. I think we stay below freezing through the morning of Monday morning. And then Monday afternoon, the 28th, we do finally get above freezing, and that freezing rain should probably change to just plain old rain. Notice how warm this computer model gets us. This suggests we get up to about 50 during late in the day Tuesday, and perhaps even it stays around 50 into Tuesday night, and then temperatures nosedive. I mentioned that cool down that's coming at the end of next week. So could get pretty darn warm here for a brief time before reality sets back in for next week. So check me out once again on Facebook and Twitter throughout the day. I'll have some updates on the short term and the long term. And of course, tune into 21 News tonight at 6 and 11. Have yourself a great Thursday.